Hello all, Orly Wabi here, founder of Life Fest Inside. Before we start, as you notice, we started just a couple of minutes early. Each night we do a raffle, and tonight's raffle is going to be for the 100% pure Copper Netillah cup. So I thought it would be very fitting that today, before we actually start our event, to show you just a quick video about the significance of Netillah and its connection with Nechoshet, with copper. Enjoy. From the very beginning, Am Yisrael performed the mitzvah of Netillah through the use of a copper cup. However, over the past few generations, the custom to use copper has been lost as people began using less expensive materials. Torah and Kabbalah state that copper has mystical qualities associated with good health, fertility, livelihood, and purity. What is the relevance of copper when it comes to Netillah? When you look at the Torah, you'll see that in several instances when HaShem brings up the concept of water and Kiddusha, he incorporates the concept of copper. For example, the Kior in the Beit HaMikdash was made of copper. It was Hashem's will that when requesting pure waters, he chose solely copper and not silver or gold like the other utensils in the Mishkan. In addition, in the Beit HaMikdash, King Solomon made a large mikveh made entirely of copper for the Kohanim to immerse in and cleanse themselves from impurity prior to working in the Beit HaMikdash. Why is copper so closely connected to water? The element of copper has several properties that make it ideal. Copper is a natural antibacterial and has what's known as an oligodynamic effect on bacteria, meaning it kills microbes. Copper does not retain any impurity. This is the reason why hospitals use copper for doorknobs in an effort to minimize the spread of germs. Why is this relevant for Netillah? As we know, impurity has the ability to cling to anything that is living. Water is a living thing, mayim chayim. Therefore, when waters are poured into a Netillah cup that is not made of copper, impurity is able to cling to it, and so we end up washing our hands with impure waters. However, by pouring the water into 100% pure copper Netillah cup, the copper neutralizes the water, and so the water is no longer living, and impurity has no way of penetrating it. When we wash our hands with water from a pure copper Netillah cup, we receive the full and ultimate benefit that was intended by HaShem for performing the mitzvah. Copper therefore acts like a force field, preventing impurity from penetrating. It is for this reason that before the Kohanim performed Avodat HaKodesh, they washed their hands from waters that came from the Kior Nechoshet, the copper sink. Since all we create comes from our hands, whether it be business, raising our children, preparing our food, creating, when our hands are purified and sanctified, we infuse that purity and sanctification into everything we touch. Let us return to the original source of purity and begin to once again use 100% pure copper cup for Netillah so that we can fulfill the mitzvah with an ultimate level of happiness and purity and draw into our lives the full gamut of Braha HaShem has intended for us. Netillah, a gift for life, a mitzvah for life. Purity begins here. And welcome back to the My Tehillim Time Jewish Women's Virtual Festival. We are in week 5. I cannot believe this, day 16. We're actually at the halfway mark, which is extremely exciting. I'm happy that you guys had the opportunity to tune in to learn a little bit more about the mitzvah of Netillah and its connection with Nechoshet, because today, at the end of the talk, we are going to be doing a raffle for another 100% pure copper Netillah cup, and who knows, you might be the winner. We're going to continue doing these raffles all the way through. We've been going strong since August, going all the way through October, and we're going to be ending off with our Rachel Imenu event. Now, I know I haven't shared much about this, but very, very briefly, on October 17th is the Yortzeit of Rachel Imenu. We're going to be live streaming from Kever Rachel. We're going to be having an array of incredible speakers. We're going to have musical performance, dance performance. All this is coming at you. The information is going to be shared shortly with you via email, and it'll also be up on the website. So stay tuned. Don't worry, I won't leave you in the dark. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome. My name is Orly Waba. I'm the founder of Abraham's Legacy, and I feel very, very lucky to be working on this incredible campaign with an incredible person, Naomi Jerno from Naomi's Uplifting Events. I love you very much, and thank you so much for all that you've been doing to make this event come into fruition. I also want to thank all of you that tune in every day with all of the chagim and all the craziness that you have going on. You're still here, and that makes me super, super happy. So thank you for being here. Of course, I'd like to thank all of our speakers, including today's speaker, who I'll introduce in just a moment. But above all, the number one thank you goes out to HASHEM, my partner, my CEO, and I just happen to work for him, like I always say. So I thank you so much for being here. For those of you that are joining for the first time and want to learn more, want to see the schedule, how to register, how to get involved in this raffle for this beautiful cup, and also books that we're going to be raffling off, all you need to do is remember one address, and that's abrahamslegacy.com/sign up. There you'll see the agenda, how you can be involved in the raffle. You can also submit your own Tehillim inspired story. You could do it on our site. You could do it on your social media using the hashtag #MyTehillimTime, and then you'll be entered into a separate raffle that we'll be doing at the Rachel Imenu event. I'm excited to announce that our final speaker for this entire series is going to be Rebbetzin Yemima Mizrahi on October 17th. But like I said, more details about the lineup of speakers and what we have coming at you is going to be, I'm going to be, introducing that as time is going to go on. All right, are we ready for our speaker for today? I'm very, very excited to introduce her, Braha Bender. Now, Rebbetzin Braha Bender is the founder of 100 Fun Things. This is a company that helps women have more fun by providing them with fabulous events, courses, parties, adventures, and a warm, enthusiastic community. She's been involved in Jewish education for over 20 years as a speaker and mentor at Neve Yerushalayim, Be'er Miriam, Me'orot Yerushalayim, Sha'arim, Birkat HaTorah, and other educational settings. Incredible. Now, prior to 100 Fun Things, Braha also held senior positions at Mishpacha magazine, among other companies. Braha trained as a Jewish educator under Rabbi Avraham Edelstein and Rabbi David Kass at the Moreshet Institute, and under Rabbi Yitzchak Berkowitz at the Jerusalem Kollel's Women Program. She additionally trained as a business and life coach at Bar Ilan University and the Jerusalem Narrative Therapy Institute. I'm so super excited to have her with us today. I just want to mention before I bring her on that today's partner, I want to give a shout out to JICNY, who is a partner in today's event and helped us get the word out about the event. Thank you very much. Don't forget to tune in. After Braha is going to wow us with her talk, we are going to be doing our 6-minute Tehillim read through the Abraham's Legacy app that is in memory of my grandfather, Avraham Ben Polin. If you don't already have the app, you have the opportunity to download it. If you don't have a smartphone, don't you worry. Just grab your Tehillim book and you'll be able to join us, or of course, open your heart and speak to HASHEM during those 6 minutes. And right after our 6-minute Tehillim read, we will do the raffle. If you have any questions, as Braha is going to share with us her beautiful insights, feel free to write those questions down directly in the chat. I give you Braha Bender talking about the power of reading Tehillim in the Sukkah. Thank you so much, Braha, for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Orly. It is such an incredible privilege to be a part of this. I'm wowed by everything that you're doing. And thank you so much, Naomi. So hi to everybody. You know, seasons are opportunities. You can go to the beach any time of year, but you know, going to the beach during the winter, it's just not quite the same as going during the summer. So the seasons in the Jewish year are opportunities too. And we have an incredible opportunity that we are just about to walk into. Better than Black Friday, you know, better than any sale in the world. We're about to walk into Sukkot, Zman Simchasenu, the time of our joy. We have the chance to soak in something called Simcha, put it inside of us, and use it for the rest of the year. So one of the main ways to do that is definitely through Tehillim. And we're going to take a little walk and look at how to do that, okay? So the first question is, what is this thing called simcha? How do we catch it and how do we keep it? One of the best pictures that we can have kind of in our mind from Tanakh about what simcha looks like is the author of Tehillim, my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, King David, when he was bringing the Aron to Jerusalem and he started dancing. He started dancing so intensely, so wildly, with such like pure vulnerability and joy that his own wife, Michal, thought, oh no, he looks like he's going crazy. That's not Sanua. That's not appropriate for a king. But guess what? Read a little further on in the narrative and you find out Michal was wrong. It was totally appropriate. Being really happy and vulnerable and open and fully present with your joy for the right thing, that's not only tsanua, that's what it's all about. That's having a relationship with God. So it's interesting, right? Because sometimes we want to do a mitzvah with passion. We have this perfect juicy peach in our hands and it smells good and we know it's going to taste good. And we want to say that bracha like from the depths, but then all of a sudden this little voice goes, oh, come on. Don't make yourself look like you're such a tzaddikus. Like, what are you doing saying that bracha so intensely? Everyone's going to look at you. And the truth is, that voice was talked about in the amazing book, Chovos Levavos, The Duties of the Heart. And Rabbeinu Bachya, who wrote the book, comes along and says, hey guys, I want to warn you about something. I want to warn you about this little voice. This little voice is going to tell you that's not tsanua, being so passionate about your mitzvahs. That's not appropriate. That's not modest. That's not humble. And he says, that's incorrect. You can't let that kind of worry about modesty or humility get in the way of your passion for avodas Hashem, for serving God, for having a relationship with God. You got to let it rip. You got to let it out. And that includes the joy. That includes the joy. It's interesting, because we know all about turning to God when times are tough. We know all about reading Tehillim when times are tough, when life gets hard, right? People are really concerned, like, what if I lose my faith because things are so hard in life, in history, in Jewish history? But the Chovos Levavos comes along and says another funny thing. He says, when you have to really kind of watch yourself that you don't lose your relationship with God, when things are great, when things are going terrific, when you're feeling good, when you've got that peach, when you're going on that trip to the beach, when you're sitting in your sukkah and you're having a nice, maybe a glass of wine or a glass of soda and your family's around, you're wearing great clothes, and you're feeling good. He says that's the moment that you just got to be a little careful. Like, don't lose your relationship with God. Don't forget. Don't think, oh, everything's terrific. What? God? Who? Huh? I don't need him. I've got these great shoes, right? Be careful. Be careful. So how do we cash in on the season of Simcha? How do we take it in? And how do we keep it in? Rav Kellerman says, Rav Leib Kellerman, in the name of Rav Shlomo Valba, Zecher Tzadik Braha, that when there are good times in your life, when you're having fun, like I help women do, and you're feeling good, he says, you got to really make sure to take that in. You got to make sure to be present with that and not just kind of like let it drift by, because challenges are going to come. Challenges will come. Hopefully you'll set the term of the challenge yourself. You'll decide, I want to work on this and I'm going to take on the challenge myself. It'll be on the offensive with your challenges instead of the defensive. But one way or the other, challenges are going to come. And you know what you're going to have, the tools you're going to have to deal with those challenges, whatever strength you collected and you put inside of yourself when things were going really well. So the first time I learned about this idea of taking in the good and not letting it go, having a relationship with God that goes beyond just, God as, I don't know, the great Coke machine in the sky, right? Like I put in my mitzvah and I get my Coke. I put in my upper bit, right? But I put in my tehillim and I get the blessing I need in my life. A relationship that goes beyond just a kind of a service provider relationship. I was really little. I was really privileged. I learned this young. I was standing next to my birth mother. I'm adopted, and I was standing next to my birth mother. I must have been 2 or 3. It's one of my earliest memories. And we were after a long day at the beach in New Jersey, in Ocean Grove. Beautiful day. And the sun was setting, and I could smell the salt coming up off of the boards of the boardwalk. And my mom, Chai Miriam Bas Menachem Mendel Aleha Shalom, she took my hand and squeezed it tight, and she looked out at the sunset and she said, "Take it with you." So girls, you got to take it with you. We're entering into the season of Simcha, but Simcha isn't an accident. Simcha isn't something that just happens to you. Simcha is a wave you've got to ride. Simcha is a gift, but it's a gift that you have to receive. You have to open up and be present for it. So just like when you're going through hard times and you grab that Sefer Tehillim and you say Tehillim and you put all those hard times in context, you realize, wait a minute, there's a bigger picture and these hard times are part of a bigger picture, right? Like David HaMelech shows us in so many beautiful ways. You have to put your joy in context as part of a bigger picture. Wow, I'm having such a great time. That's part of a bigger picture. That's part of a relationship that is so much bigger than just this one delicious glass of Coca-Cola, or this one wonderful trip to the zoo, or this one stunning new dress. All of those things can be beautiful, strong threads that bind us and that keep us deeply, deeply connected and that fill us up with something profound. And a great way to do that, a great way to take your joy and plug it into a bigger picture so that you're connected and you're using the joy for what it was intended for, to fill you up so that you've got some energy to go and tackle the things that you're meant to tackle and do a great job. A great way to do that would be to choose just one Tehillim, or even just one verse that feels like yours. It feels like it's your Tehillim, or even just your Tehillim verse. And when things are going really great, just whisper it. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it just between you and God. Just quietly or out loud if you want. Again, don't be afraid to be passionate about how great it is to serve Hashem, how much fun you're having and how wonderful it is. Just say it, Just like when you miss the bus and you're like, oh, shucks. All right, I accept it. And you say some Tehillim, or you stub your toe. Oh, this is difficult. You say your Tehillim. When something beautiful is going on, say your Tehillim. You're going to be sitting in the Sukkah. Say it. And by saying Tehillim, when things are joyful, when you're sitting in the Sukkah, you're going to stay sitting in the Sukkah for all time. As King David said in the Tehillim that we read every day, from the beginning of Elul through the end of the holiday season. Let David Hashem Rishi, as David wrote, Hashem is my light and my salvation. And he goes on to say, I only ask one thing. I only ask for one thing, Hashem, just one thing. Let me sit in the house of Hashem all the days of my life. Because you tucked me into your sukkah during the tough times. And the word safun actually implies a precious gift. You keep me cherished and tucked in and safe and precious, feeling precious on the bad days. How do you stay feeling precious? Because when things feel really good, you recognize that's a hug, that's a kiss. You say your Tehillim and you say, hey, This feels good, and I know why it feels good. It feels good because I'm loved, and it feels good because it's a gift. You say it to Tehillim when you're in the Sukkah. So I just want to invite everyone. I want to invite everyone sitting in your living room, wherever you are around the world, to think about one of your happy memories. No pressure. It doesn't have to be the happiest. You don't have to scramble. Just think of a happy memory. It could be something epic and life-changing. It could be something really tiny. Just a nice cup of tea you had lately. Just a fun time. And I want you to just take a minute and remember it. Close your eyes. Or don't close your eyes either way. Take a deep breath. And then as you let the feeling of that memory wash over you, I want you to think to yourself, that was HASHEM loving me. That great feeling, that was HASHEM showing me love. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like, because you are deeply cherished and deeply loved. And even when the tough times come, you're going to be just as cherished and just as deeply loved. And letting yourself feel that during the good times, it's going to carry through. That's what King David told us. So build up that relationship during the joyful times and seek out more joy. Make some time for yourself so that you can fill yourself up with that relationship with HASHEM. Life can be difficult. We can be ready for it. That's the power of saying Tehillim in the Sukkah. You thinking of that memory? You feeling it? We're all there together, having that relationship with each other and with HASHEM. Now's the moment, Sukkah. Feel it. I'd like y'all to join me in saying Tehillim together on the amazing Abraham's Legacy app.
Thank you so much, Braha. I really appreciate your words, and such an important concept. You know, again, oftentimes we turn to Tehillim, we turn to prayer in times of pain and sorrow, but recognizing the importance of actually turning to prayer in times of happiness and joy, and calling more joy into our life is extremely important. I'm so super excited because not only do we have the power of saying Tehillim, but the fact that we're able to walk into a mitzvah, we're walking into the Sukkah, and we're also going to be able to say Tehillim there. Just imagine the power that's going to be coming out through this, all the Sukkahs that are all over the world. It's incredible. So I'm very excited to read Tehillim in my Sukkah and to call that joy into my life and to continue to build that relationship with HASHEM out of a place of tremendous positivity, a tremendous amount of abundance. Because that's what HASHEM wants to give us all the time, is abundance. He wants us to feel that sense of abundance. He loves us so much. It's incredible. It can't even be contained. So thank you so much for your words. Thank you for sharing from your heart and bringing us back to that moment of joy in all of our lives so that we can recall and call more moments of joy into our lives as we're entering into this very, very special time of Sukkot. So we're going to now read 6 minutes, our 6-minute reader, okay, on the Abraham's Legacy app. If you have any questions for Braha, stick around. You're going to be able to ask them to her. You'll be able to write them on the chat, and we'll make sure that we're going to share those questions after we finish our read. Grab your phone if you have the app on your phone. Don't worry if you don't. You're going to see a quick video right now that's going to explain to you. And if you don't have your phone available, or you're joining us from your phone, so you can't get to the app right now, just take out your Tehillim book or open your heart. Here we go. I made a list here of who today's talk and the Tehillim is in memory of, and for the refuah shlema of. I'm going to ask that you please keep in your mind Leilui Nishma, my grandfather Avraham ben Polin, who actually his yortzeit is going to be within this next week, in just a week from now, and also for my grandmother, his wife, Marie Becky Batlioni, who's about to undergo surgery right after the Chag. So please keep them in your mind, and I've listed other names here as well as we're going to be praying. So thank you so much. Here we go into our Tehillim read. On behalf of Abraham's legacy, we are excited to lead you in a Tehillim reading, where each and every one of us, from wherever we are in the world, can easily join in and complete a book of Tehillim in unison within minutes through a very special app called Abraham's Legacy, Tehillim Together, in memory of Avraham ben Polin. To be part of the global Tehillim read happening now, download Abraham's Legacy on your mobile device from the App Store, available for iOS and Android. You can also scan this QR code with your phone. To scan a QR code, simply open the camera on your phone and hold it up to this image. A link will appear on top, which you can click, and it will direct you to download the app. I'll give you all a moment to download the app. Sign in, and in a minute, we will all click on the Start Reading button on the main screen, and each of us will receive a different perek from the Sefer of Tehillim so that we can complete the book and add to the global count. In the top right corner, you can click the icon to switch your language if you like. You'll also be able to see in real time the amount of people reading and countries reading. Don't forget, you'll need to confirm that you've completed the chapter. Let's put a few minutes on the clock to read in unison so that we can unleash the power of our combined tefillah. Tizku l'mitzvot.
קרבות עוד באוויר, עם עייף חובש פצעיו, יושב סופר ימיו, צעקות בושה בכל העיר, דור רוצה תשובה עכשיו, זכאי ולא חייב. בגוף עייף מכישלונות, בלב שבור לחתיכות, נחכה לך שתקבל פנינו. לך קראנו בלילות, ועוד נצעק ברחובות, רחם עלינו אבא הושיענו, הושיענו. זמן עובר כולם ממהרים, דור מחיש את פעמיו, רוצה הכל עכשיו, שמש בשמיים אפורים, עם בארץ אבותיו, נלחם עוד על חייו. בגוף עייף מכישלונות, בלב שבור לחתיכות, מחכה לך שתקבל פנינו. בגוף עייף מכישלונות, בלב שבור לחתיכות, מחכה לך שתקבל פנינו. לך קראנו בלילות, ועוד נצעק ברחובות, רחם עלינו אבא הושיענו, הושיענו. הגיע הזמן להתעורר, לעזוב הכל, להתגבר, לשוב הביתה, לא לחפש מקום אחר. הגיע הזמן להשתנות, גם אם פספסנו תחנות, אפשר לרדת, יש רכבת, חזרה לשכונות. הכל אפשר רק אם נרצה, המחפש תמיד מוצא, גם אם הוא נמצא אי שם הרחק בקצה. דלתות שמיים לא ננעלו, כשהבן קורא הצילו, אבא שבשמיים מגיע אפילו שעשינו משהו רע, הוא מוחל וסולח, מושיט ידו לעזרה, ונותן ברחמיו את הכוח לתקן ולשוב אליו. הזמן להתחרט, אם כבר לברוח אז מאחת, אם כבר לקחת אז לקחת בשביל לתת. וזה הזמן להתקרב, לא לפחד מהכאב, ואם לתת אז כבר לתת מכל הלב. הכל אפשר רק אם נרצה, המחפש תמיד מוצא, גם אם הוא נמצא אי שם הרחק בקצה. דלתות שמיים לא ננעלו, כשהבן קורא הצילו, אבא שבשמיים מגיע אפילו שעשינו משהו רע, הוא מוחל וסולח, מושיט ידו לעזרה, ונותן ברחמיו את הכוח לתקן ולשוב אליו. אפילו שעשינו משהו רע, הוא מוחל וסולח, מושיט ידו לעזרה, ונותן ברחמיו את הכוח לתקן ולשוב אליו. הזמן להתעורר, לעזוב הכל, להתגבר, לשוב הביתה.
You can finish the chapter that you're reading. I want to tell you that we finished the book and we're already into another book. Already at almost chapter 40, already in another book. Absolutely incredible. Really incredible to see. So I want to thank you guys. Don't forget, you can utilize this app at any point. It's not just for this event. It's here. It's meant for you as a gift. This is a L'Shem Shamayim project, like I mentioned, in memory of my grandfather. So please utilize it, share it with others. Let someone in your life know, hey, there's this amazing app that you can use, that you take 30 seconds and you're part of finishing a book, because there are hundreds of chapters being completed on a weekly basis. And you can even have the zechut of somebody that you love, whether it's somebody that's passed or somebody that needs tefillot, and you can sponsor a dedicated chapter in their memory, and their name is going to be above that chapter on everybody's app. There are over 11,000 people currently on the app, and Bezrat Hashem, it should continue to grow and grow more. We're going to continue going strong. I have to thank so many of you. Some of you reached out to me saying, Orly, there's an amazing speaker. You have to get onto this program. I said, okay, send it along to us. I was talking to Naomi. I said, we're going to keep going strong. We're going until Mashiach is coming. That is our purpose. You might be thinking, why are you doing this? What's going on? Why are you doing this program? I'm doing this program for one reason, very specific reason. To unify Am Yisrael, to shake the foundations so much of the earth. Hashem is going to want to bring Mashiach so fast. He's going to say, okay, you guys are saying so much Tehillim, I'm bringing Mashiach, and that's it. It's a time. So Bezrat Hashem, we should unify, to come together, to recognize that in spite of our differences, we're all the same, to just embrace one another, to love one another, to no longer judge each other, like we spoke about before Yom Kippur. And I was thinking about all of you during my Yom Kippur tefillot. Baruch Hashem, I was able to finish the full book of Tehillim on Kippur, and I was thinking of all of you. I said, Hashem, I know I don't remember all of their names, but you know what I'm talking about. And I'm so grateful to these women that are here every single day and they're praying with me. But we spoke about before Yom Kippur, right? This idea of letting go of the pain, letting go of whatever somebody, the negative feelings that we have towards others, to let it go. Because you know what happens when you let go of the negative energy? You have room, just like Braha said, all of a sudden your Sukkah, which is inside of you, has a lot more room. You know what it has room for? It has room for love. It has room for ahava. And we know why we're still here. We know what Hashem just wants of us. Ahavat Israel. He wants ahavat chesed. He wants to see, just to love people. We know why we're here. Sinat chinam. We have to do the exact opposite, to share so much love. So let's make the space and prepare a beautiful sukkah inside of us to be able to welcome people in, not only to our physical sukkah, but inside to our hearts, and to love them and to embrace them. And we're going to see tremendous yeshuot. We are going to see tremendous yeshuot. So I want to thank you for joining. Don't go anywhere, okay? Because we have the raffle now. If anybody has any questions for Braha, feel free to list your questions here, and we'll be happy to share it. Don't forget, you can share your My Tehillim time story on our website, abrahamslegacy.com/sign up. Okay, if there are no questions, and again, feel free to ask even after the raffle. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And as you know, we're doing the raffle today for our 100% pure Copper Netillah cup that we had a chance to learn about. If you missed the video, you can go to netillah.com and click on play video to understand the significance of it. So let's spin our big wheel, just so that you know, because some people have been asking. If you registered, last week we were doing it specifically with those that were joining physically at the event live. We're now moving back to what we were doing before. Anybody that registers for the event is added in. So if you registered at some point, don't worry, you don't need to fill out another form a zillion times. You filled it out once you're here. I'm going to go ahead and click our big wheel. And let's see the winners for today. And I will send you an email so I could get your address. The winner is Roth Cohen at yahoo.com. Mazal tov. So excited that you won. I will send you an email so that you can send me your address. I want to encourage all of you to come back again on Thursday. This Thursday, we have our next speaker, because of course it's Sukkot. Yafa Palti, speaking about the power of Tehillim to unlock your potential. Such a tremendous, tremendous topic. So that's going to be this Thursday, same time. You guys know, 8:30 p.m. Israel time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be doing another raffle that day, and you'll receive the email reminders. I placed in the chat a link to join our WhatsApp group so that you can get reminders as well there. I'll make sure to do that. Thank you all so much for being here. If you have any questions for me, anything you want to share with me whatsoever, you can email me at info@abrahamslegacy.com, or you can send me a message to my WhatsApp. I do read all of my WhatsApps and I will respond to you. So that's my information over there. Have a great rest of your day, your night, and Chag Sukkot Sameach. Enjoy it. Let's bring everything into our hearts, just like Braha said. Thank you for your message, Braha, and have a great night. Chag Sameach.